Hey everyone, this is Nerd Views, and why I did and didn't like aspects of this movie. We'll be covering spoilers for it. There is also some vulgarity in this review. Timestamps to areas in this spoiler review will be in this video's description. Transformers media goes back a while, and I've only been exposed to the Badeverse, a comic, to the Cybertron games. That being said, I've experienced the Cybertron games to the dreadfully disappointing The Last Night. I haven't seen the 80s TV series or a whole lot of other Transformers media, so I'm reviewing this as an interest and a moviegoer. Transformers Rise of the Beast is set in 1994 as Elena accidentally uncovers a key that can open a portal to Cybertron, or planet-consuming Unicron. This key also beacons the Autobots and Terracons to it. Both sides have ulterior motives, with the Terracons being more planet-consuming than the other. The catch is both parts of the key opens the portal, which Elena only has found one half. After meeting Noah, Mirage convinces him to steal the key from the museum. Noah and Elena meet up, the Terracons are on their tail, the Autobots and Airazor provide cover for the humans but lose an ally, and the Terracons retrieve the first half of the key that they think is the only key at the time. Airazor reveals to the protagonists that the Terracons only got one half of the key. They should be searching for the other half. Elena thinks she knows where it is, and they initially go there for the Autobots to find their way home, and maybe stop the Terracons. There is a conflict on whether to save Earth, let the Terracons complete their plan, or destroy the key entirely between the humans and the Autobots. One of these things does happen in the movie based on the events throughout it, and how minds are changed. This movie is a mostly fun but mixed mess, with a strong opening, standout special effects, action scenes, and character moments, but hit or miss comedic and horror beats, a noticed historical inaccuracy, some notable vocal performances, mixed human performances, with a mostly stale tone, even through emotional moments, with a shoehorned in tie-in. When it came to the Transformers, transformations, and special effects themselves, it is nothing new to the Transformers Bayverse, since Dark of the Moon was nominated for an Oscar. And Rise of the Beast shares Bayverse's putting the Transformers with humans into the real world type of filmmaking. But Elena was one of the standout humans in this one, compared to Noah, who stood out later in the film. Before and after, he had literal plot armor around him. Noah's actor mostly bores and stone-faces his way through the movie, with standout moments and some notable deliveries in the concluding half of the film. It's a little embarrassing when Noah's actor is outclassed by his little brother's child actor. My understanding of some aspects of acting is basically tapping into your inner child. Noah's actor's stone-faced, bored performance steals in comparison to his little brother's actors, and even Elena's actor's notable notes with subtle facial cues, for example. I believe in acting that the body, including the face, is a canvas and you have to emote and key to your audience what that character is doing, feeling, thinking, and window yourself into you without even saying a line, which I think Elena's actress and other actors did better. What wasn't better was a noticeable historical inaccuracy in this movie being set in 1994, but this one did stand out to me. Elena starts singing Waterfalls in the plane, which didn't sound right to me, and it turns out that song was released in 1995, and not 1994. The movie also had some hit-and-miss comedic beats to it from the Transformers and human cast. Such comedic hits such as Noah remarking on, "This is some Indiana Jones type shit," when a hidden door opens, and Elena frustrating that Noah had a gun on him the entire time. There is adult humor attempts such as Mirage giving Noah something, and then the Transformer remarking to not ask what part of that body that came from. It was small, shaped like a ring, and shot stuff out of it. If I get into any more detail, penis, I'll have to age restrict this video. There was also horror-themed moments that missed, involving the mini spider-like Terracons. Whenever they appeared to stalk the humans, the scenes would build up some sort of atmosphere with the typical jump scare. I am not brushed up on the earlier Bayverse movies recently, but I do remember the big and small antagonist designs being a bit scary and unsettling. I didn't like the noises the mini Terracons made, but the typical red-eyed bad guys and their not really off-putting design didn't stand out as frightening to me if that's what they intended for. There were very few of these scenes with these mini Terracons, and they didn't land as hard as they could have, horror-wise. What landed hard was the film's opening. The desperation in keeping the key away from Scourge, the Terracon leader, taunting in the shadows, to the Maximal and Scourge encounter, and the reveal of Unicron's destructive power was strong. The Transformers on Earth that stood out were Bumblebee, with his defeat and return, Wheeljack with a short awkward exchange with Noah and another comedic pointed out remark, and some Mirage moments, especially towards the end with his sacrifice. But on Bumblebee, it was off-putting to see the moments up to his death with the stab, struggling body, swelling music, Optimus' response to then recorded line from a movie of, "Oh, Captain, my Captain." The chance for some god-tier voice acting, only for it to be off-put by Bumblebee's mix of recorded clips to speak to others. B did have a surprise but implied fun standout return to the battle, accompanied by a tune with yet more recorded lines from media in it, and at the end of his comeback to his fellow Autobots and Prime. So yeah, it is almost like he is a silent film actor. However, Airazor stood out even though she was short-lived, as well as Primal towards the end, when he hauled Optimus back to Earth, with the "till all is one." Scourge was the only one of the Terracons that stood out to me, and all the rest of the Cybertronian voice cast were backed by mixed performances. Dinkelberg was no Dinklebot in this movie, and delivers a threatening, menacing performance, especially with his intro. Yeoh's Airazor was memorable in her torn, eventually corrupted performance, when she knew what was coming because of Scourge infecting her. I don't have anything good or bad to say about Cullen, other than it was standard and sometimes scary when he plotted revenge against Scourge. Perlman was a pretty acceptable performance, with sensing regret about ending Airazor with "no matter the cost." Davidson's Mirage stood out in some moments throughout the movie, especially with his sacrifice towards the end of the film. The rest of the Cybertronian cast didn't stand out to me presence or performance-wise. I was a bit shook about Bumblebee returning my first viewing, and there were standout action scenes, character and story moments throughout the finale, but the movie itself, with some tones and underperformances, was a pretty stale watch even through emotional moments. I'll argue that the "this cannot be" line and zoom in on Bee's body wasn't needed and didn't land emotionally, especially when it shows them carrying him throughout the movie. This movie also ties itself to G.I. Joe for some reason, which got a very audible, "What the fuck? How does that work? That don't make sense." Okay, I didn't say those words exactly, but I did say, "What the fuck?" So, Transformers Rise of the Beasts is a mostly fun but mixed mess, with a strong start, standout special effects and action scenes, character moments that stood out, but hit or miss comedic and horror beats, some notable vocal performances, but mixed human ones, unnoticed historical inaccuracy, a stale tone within emotional moments, with a shoehorned in tie-in. Based on the underperformed cast member they set up for G.I. Joe, I'm not interested in seeing the planned tie-in theatrically. I think you should rent Transformers Rise of the Beasts with a score of a 55 out of 100. Movies I enjoyed when I was younger can be different upon a rewatch nowadays. So, would I enjoy the first three Bayverse Transformers movies as much as I did when I was younger? I did see Dark of the Moon twice in theaters. My next live action Transformers movie reviews will be the first three Bayverse ones on this channel. In the meantime, I have Creator Nerd Creative, Nerby Games Gaming, and Nerdboy Product Reviews channels, all within this video description links. Anything else related to this channel displays on this end screen.